I'd like to welcome you all to what I am very excited by, which is a presentation on Energy Star with Indoor Air Plus. Some of you may have been in courses with me before on the Energy Star with IAP Plus package, but we've got cool people to talk to you today, not just me, okay? So here's the way that we decided we would go about this class. First of all, over to that side of the room, you will see a rough outline of how we will be handling the class. You know, what we expect to be our outline, as you well know, we do the best we can, all right? I will start you out, and here's what I want to start you out with. You know that green is everywhere, right? I mean, it's just everywhere. You pick up a magazine, you pick up a newspaper, you turn on a television, something is green. So what we're looking at is just this gigantic movement in this country to incorporate aspects of green in every different shape and form that they can, okay? Now, I was tasked with starting you out on the big picture, which I will do my best to do, and I would like for your input as well, okay? First of all, for your resource on the Indoor Air Plus, to kind of put it into context, then we have with us today EPA's Dave Price. We will move on from there, and I'm so excited to have with us in the back Matt Belcher, who is the president of Belcher Homes, who has been building green for how many years now, Matt?
Before I knew it was green.
Exactly.
It gave me a color.
So Matt's been building green forever and ever and ever. We also have with us Jim Gibson, who has very successfully moved the entire radon message into the builders community. God love you. And they're there. They're successful. They know how to do this, and that's why we had them here today, so that you could pick up whatever clues you wanted. So here is the website that will talk about Indoor Air Plus, and it is really worth it to take a look at this stuff because EPA is actively promoting it. And I would urge you to realize where the bandwagon's going so that you can get on board. Okay, now, this particular resource page I really liked. I really liked it. Healthandenergy.com, Energy Efficient Homes, HTM, and it gives you an overall picture of how the IAP fits in to what's already out there. And you can see that it's pulling together a whole bunch of stuff. So here's your Energy Star label, which everybody knows Energy Star, right? Everybody. It's been so well branded. And I thought it was a stroke of genius for EPA to attach the Indoor Air Plus package to the Energy Star logo. You know, they're already golden. You know, they've already got the purchase power of the Energy Star program. All right, so my job, as I said, is to try and give you the bigger picture, how all of what we're talking about fits into what else is going on. So Energy Star qualified homes, the International Residential Building Code, the International Energy Code, and I don't know what the other C is for. Who knows what the other, huh?
Conservation.
Thank you. The HERS Raters, these are the folks that are going out there and looking to see whether things have been done. And Raters and ResNet. I mean, all of these are kind of those abbreviated, alphabet soup that you will be dealing with now as radon people. And how many of you have already dealt with this as radon people, some of these people? Norm, yeah? So, somewhat, Henry? It's common.
A couple of green built, healthy built home things that did mitigation on.
Okay, healthy built homes that you did mitigation on. And you see these people. And I think it really helps to know what the acronyms are standing for. Also, the proposed 2011 guidelines, okay? All right. Energy Star rated homes. As you well know, there is an entire package out there on guiding builders on how to build homes that are energy efficient. And you have various levels of energy efficiency. A good deal of the process of getting an Energy Star rating is ensuring that that exterior shell is going to be the most efficient thing that a builder can possibly build. And then they take a look at the stuff that goes inside. But that exterior shell is the key. That's number one, all right? So in addition to that shell, you've got Energy Star qualified appliances and lighting. But this is huge. The proper installation of insulation. That's a huge part of this, you know, getting it back into the corners, reframing those corners so that you're insulating back in there and not getting the mold growth on the cold corners. A tighter envelope. Now, I want you to remember that when you're thinking radon. Okay? Again, it has been shown over and over again that a tighter envelope does not necessarily mean an increase in radon concentration. But you have to remember when you're building, you tighten that envelope and you don't make allowances for the tighter envelope. Now maybe you got a better chimney. Okay? So this is all part of the Energy Star package. A more efficient delivery of conditioned air throughout the house. I mean, the minute you've got leaky ducts, now you've got real energy inefficiency. So when you're looking at an energy efficient home, this is some of the stuff that you have to start with. And this thing, you know, that exterior shell is a giant part of it. The goal is 20 to 30% more energy efficient than homes built to the IRC 2004. That's the energy code. I know people looked at this and said, wait a second, there's no IRC in 2004. It's the IECC that the IRC refers to, the energy code. Okay? 15% more stringent than a state's building code. Now, have I lost you in the letters already? Or are you with me still? Yeah? We're okay? All right. Okay. Here's the 2006 IRC. And they update this every 3 years. Now, Matt, you got to corroborate this for me if I'm right. In 2012, the NAHB Green Standard will be an appendix.
Actually, the the standard will be at least an appendix. I think actually it will probably be a reference document for IRC. The Green Building Guidelines terminology, especially in the mechanical ventilation part of the IRC in 2009 and the IECC 2009, already contain requirements for building sealing and HVAC.
So that exterior shell and much of the ventilation discussion that is in the NAHB Green Standard will already be in 2009.
That's correct. And it's not an NAHB standard. NAHB brought forth the guidelines. It's not an
ANSI standard. Thank you. I appreciate it. So into that standard. And please corroborate this for me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that in 2012, the process of adopting the IRC will be different. In that, rather than having to opt in an appendix, you will have to opt out of an appendix?
That is the discussion. Right, and that's where the discussion is.
Okay, would you like to join me in the happy dance? I'm telling you.
For radon, too.
Yeah, exactly. So think of these building, code guys in there, whatever their municipality, and they're actually sitting there debating. Well, let's don't adopt this radon thing, because we really don't want to save our people from radon-induced lung cancer. Oh, let's talk about election next time, right? Okay, so here's the IRC, and we're taking a look at the 2006, because basically that's what we're still operating from, but very soon it'll flip over to 2009. The IRC stands for the International Residential Code, which is, as they describe it, a comprehensive standalone residential code. And you guys, if you've looked at it, the puppy's about that thick. We're talking about a huge document that covers A to Z on building. But don't forget, the IRC is a minimum. You don't get to build below that. That's the minimum that you're allowed to do. All right, so it's a minimum regulation for 1- and 2-family dwellings of 3 stories or less. That's what the IRC applies to. And it brings together all the stuff in the building. The building stuff, the plumbing stuff, the mechanical, the fuel, blah, 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 for those 1 and 2 family dwellings. And it's comprehensive. How many of you have gone through at least major sections of the IRC? Isn't it just the funnest thing that you ever read in your life? But you will end up having to at least have a passing knowledge of it. So find somebody who owns a copy and at least skim through it. All right? Get your idea of what these builders are dealing with. It provides a prescriptive approach, which means it's not like it's an option. You know, you do it or you don't. If you're going to follow IRC, which most municipalities will require you do, you build that way. There's no options, all right? It's a set of measures and a performance approach, which is the other one. Does it meet the performance of the guidelines? Does it do what we asked it to do? And for determining compliance, it's on a 3-year cycle that we just talked about, okay? Are there questions about that? You all know about it, right? Oh, please, question.
Prescriptive approach for performance or prescriptive action?
It's either. It's either a prescriptive approach where you say, do this, 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 and this. Is it a prescriptive approach or is it a performance approach is the question.
Means you measure it afterwards to see if it's doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah. Does it perform the way the prescriptive approach said it should? So if you're going to go outside the prescriptive approach, at the end you still have to have it meet that performance. Okay? So that's the way that they allow it to, for innovations in there, so long as it does what it's supposed to be doing. Other stuff, please. Okay, now were's how the IECC fits into that International Energy Conservation Code. All right? That's also we're on 2006, but it's updated on other years. So there's a 2004, 2006.